Good morning! Are you ready for the revamp of the Apple Watch? I have it right here.
Is that different from the past?
It's been fundamentally redesigned from the inside out, from the ground up. Started from scratch so that we could truly revolutionize the look and feel of the Apple Watch.
I don't know, it kind of looks the same, Tim.
With this fundamentally new architecture of constructing a smartwatch, we were able to shave off 1 millimeter from the overall thickness.
Kind of looks the same, Tim.
We were also able to repackage the internals of the Apple Watch to extend the display
Looks the same
from all sides by a single pixel.
Tim.
And now with the redesigned speaker on the inside, you can listen to music and podcasts right off of your wrist.
Why would I want to do that, though?
Please, for the love of
Tim.
God, buy the smartwatch. We can't think of anything else
Tim.
to add. The lawsuit
Tim.
with Massimo hasn't even been finalized yet. We can't get blood oxygen level working. This watch is capable of telling you that you're not sleeping properly. I already knew that. But Drew, did you know that you have sleep apnea?
I mean, yes, but doctors are expensive here.
But Drew, you must know that if you have sleep apnea, you will not have a good morning.
Alright, yeah, I'm skipping the Series 10 again. Didn't review the Series 9 last year because I didn't feel like there were enough changes, but the sad thing about the Series 10 this year is actually the marketing of it is more interesting than the watch changes itself. Yeah, the screen is very, very slightly bigger, but because it is so slight, they had to remove any kind of comparison page on the website that showcased the bezels next to the Series 7, 8, and 9 because it's so absurdly close, like, it's very, very difficult to tell the difference, and Apple had to announce watchOS features at the same time as the Series 10 to make it feel like it had more of an impact by saying like, oh yeah, it has sleep apnea detection, but by the way, you can also do that on the Ultra 2 and the Series 9. So it wasn't even really a new hardware feature in the first place, and I think it's made me realize something over the years, which is just that all of the leakers and rumors surrounding the Apple Watch, at least, are very, very hard to trust. I mean, I'll give the leaker community credit. A lot ended up being correct with the iPhone line. Like, the camera bump was leaked long in advance, as was the name Desert Titanium, and we knew about the new Pro screen sizes like a year in advance. Also, the same thing about the 60Hz displays, the A18 chip being on the entry-level iPhone 16s and stuff. There were a lot of leaks and rumors leading up to the iPhone launch that ended up being accurate, but time and time again now, we have heard the same reports claiming that next year is going to be the big one. This is going to be the year where they fundamentally redesign the Apple Watch from the inside out. Either they're going to make it round this time, or they're going to make it more square to blend in with the rest of the Apple ecosystem. And then every single year, a bunch of us get hyped about, okay, this is the big redesign. You know, it wasn't even that long ago that the reports were claiming Apple was changing the watch band connection in favor of this super thin, lightweight magnetic design. And here we are, and it's all wrong. It all, once again, ended up being not that big of a difference, but so much hype leading up to it that just went nowhere. And because of the whole lawsuit with Massimo and everything, we're at the point now where there are genuine objective reasons to go with a certified refurbished Series 8 or 9, which come with the blood oxygen level checking. In fact, if you have an earlier Series 9, you might actually get to keep your blood oxygen level checking and get the sleep apnea detection, which is more of a watchOS feature, not a Series 10 feature. So there's more health features by getting a cheaper watch because the resale value on Apple Watches are terrible, which is bad if you're buying them brand new, but it's great if you're willing to buy them used. I know a lot of us out there are still rocking Series 4s and 5s. Heck, maybe if you are still on a Series 3 or 2, and those people should absolutely consider just buying a refurbished Series 7, 8, or 9, and they could have the same battery life as the Series 10 at probably half the price or less, and also, if you're rocking a Series 9, still access some of the latest health features. What are you really missing out on by not buying it brand new from Apple? Slightly bigger display, which is very hard to notice, slightly thinner body, I suppose, and a speaker on the outside that can play music and podcasts. But I'm telling you, that is not a great way to listen to tunes. Just use your phone or just use some headphones. That's going to be 1,000% better. And I don't even buy into the whole like, well, the display is easier to see from other angles now thanks to this like micro OLED panel that they're putting in there. It's all a bunch of gimmicky things you're never going to notice. But the fact that Apple has had to choose their words and choose their media images so carefully carefully for the Series 10, and this is supposed to be like the 10th anniversary. The Apple Watch turns 10 this year. Remember what Apple did for the 10th anniversary of the iPhone? Like, so many changes all at once. We got the repositioned camera bump, we got wireless charging, we got steel on the chassis, we got 64 gigs by default, we got 4K at 60 for the first time, an OLED display, Face ID, curved corners, new aspect ratios, so many upgrades within a single generation to celebrate the 10-year mark of the iPhone. So the fact that Apple's choosing their wording in the events to say that the Series 10 is a breathtaking, beautiful new design, and in the end, it really does just look like every other Apple Watch, that's what's making me think, I don't think Apple's really budging at this point. If they considered the Series 10 to be a massive redesign, then I have no idea what the future of Apple Watch looks like other than what it's already been. And I'm not the only person to feel that way. Marquez expressed it in his Series 10 video as well, just that it's so hard to tell the difference between generations unless you have a side-by-side, and then even then, we're talking about very, very minuscule details here. And I think the only thing that would have potentially gotten me excited to try out the Series 10 is if they found a way to stuff the ultra battery life inside, because I can't get behind buying Apple Watches anymore when I know that after just a couple of years, the batteries in them are going to degrade and it'll reach a point where it can't get through the day anymore. And if a watch can't get through the day, I'm sorry, to me, that's when it becomes pointless. It's like, after a certain point, it can't even tell me the time, or after a certain point, it's just another thing I gotta remember to charge at the end of the day. When I'm traveling, I have to pack around a different charger just for my Apple Watch puck and everything. But if I knew that the battery could last several days or weeks at a time, and I knew even with some degradation, it could still get me through the day, no problem, maybe I'd be more open-minded to having one. But it's not like my iPhone where I can easily just slap a MagSafe battery bank on the back. Whenever I need to extend the battery life on my iPhone, it's not a big deal. I've got chargers in the car, I've got those mobile battery banks and everything, that's easy. But the Apple Watch, I've tried those battery banks in the past, and I've tried having to fumble around with cables in the car and stuff. It's just not as versatile, and I don't want to have to lock in myself to that upgrade cycle of, well, every 4 to 5 years, you gotta spend another couple $100 on one of these things. But if you want it to really last, you need the sapphire glass, and that becomes a easily $700 purchase. And I've got enough money to spend on new iPhones, which are coming out anyway. So I'm sorry if you were hoping for a Series 10 review. Maybe I'll put it on for a second when I pick up my iPhone on Friday, but don't expect a review video. It's just, I don't feel like I have enough to add to the subject, and when most of the things we're talking about in regards to the Series 10 are how it's marketed, it feels like, okay, the product itself might not be that interesting, because I don't need to buy one and try it on to tell you that Apple's marketing of it is weird and very carefully structured. What do you guys think? Is the Series 10 worth it? Am I missing something? Or do you agree with me, and anybody who's interested should probably just buy a refurbished Series 9 or 8? All that stuff, drop it down in the comments below, and thank you to everybody supporting this channel directly. It seriously helps us out a ton, as does just watching these videos. This is your Alp Shape here, and I'll see you all in the next one.